Good afternoon, world. It's 4:32 p.m. in the afternoon. So earlier, my phone was not working. It was not recording, so I had to restart my phone, and now it's working. Thank God it's working. I was having my problems with my phone. It was not recording. It said recording error, whatever it is. So I restarted my phone, and now it's working. Obviously, I still have to give my parents a SIM card to reconnect it. That way, data works on my phone, and that way, if they take away the cord, I can still upload the video when there's data, obviously, on my phone. Obviously, today I'm not cleaning the house. I'm taking today off. I have enough money to get smoked today, so I'll just take today off. Take today off, and then tomorrow I'll clean the. I'll get a 20 pack. That way I have enough for another pack tomorrow. Because I have cans, obviously, but um, get a 20, or I can get a 25 pack, and I don't have enough money anymore for a 20 pack. I have to rely on. My stepmother will give me money tomorrow for clean the basement. She'll give me like $10, $11. My $2 check hasn't come in yet, so it's coming in any day now. I might may only maybe wait only 1 2 days for the $2 check to come in, and maybe next Monday it comes in. Yeah. And earlier today, before I went to bed, I applied for a job. Um, I applied for a dishwashing job, full time job. I think the best thing for me to, if I want to save my money fast, I have to work, obviously, and then if I get the job, I have to let the welfare people know. That way, they'll no longer send me checks. They might send me maybe like $100 checks or something like that. Because I heard if you work, they can still send you checks, but they lower your amount. They'll lower it to amount to maybe $100 a month or something. I'm like, hey, is it possible you can still send me checks for like maybe $100 a month or something? Like, yeah, we can do that for you, Ivan. Um, but what I'm gonna do is I have to meet with the people first. I have to meet with the welfare people first and ask them if they can raise my amount. I have to meet with the welfare people and ask if they can raise my amount. To what? Ask those people if they can raise my amount to raise my amount to what? To $1,000 a month. Raise my amount to $1,000 a month. I'm gonna ask the people. Ask them if they chances. Somebody tells me they're gonna say no. We can't do that. I'm like, okay, if you can't do that, man, I either have to collect a shitty $700 checks every month and save 200. I have only like what 300 to spend, whatever it is for myself. No, I have 500 to spend for myself, or I get a full time job where I can make like 700, 800 every 2 weeks. I can make 600 to 800 to 900 every 2 weeks. I get a full 900 is unlikely. I'll probably make. I can work 4 days a week. I can make a good $700 every 2 weeks. And save 300 a paycheck. 400 for myself, 300 a paycheck. So I can save 600 a month. Obviously, it depends on what I'm. If I make 700, I can save 250 a paycheck because I want to have money for myself to do stuff. 250 a paycheck, that's 500 a month. Let's say if I get the job in May, I'll work for 8 months. 8 times 5, I save $300 for myself. But if I save 600, if I make like 700, I can save 300. 800, I can save 300 because I have 500. If I make 800 every 2 weeks, but you have taxes, right? I'll probably make like 750 every 2 weeks and save 250 a paycheck. And I have 500 for myself. Since I and you also get tips. When you work at restaurants, you make a lot of money in tips. I remember when I worked at beer market, I was making a lot of money in tips. 150, 200, 250, $280 tips, man. I was making a lot of money when I worked beer market. And I'll blow all my tips at the bar. I go to the bar and I blow all my tips on at the bar and all that stuff. See movie at theaters, all that stuff, yeah. But they haven't responded yet. I applied early this morning. The guy hasn't responded yet. So it's the place is in Quebec. The restaurant is in Quebec, obviously. The restaurant is in Quebec. It's in Quebec, obviously. It's in Quebec, so I don't have to go to Ottawa where I have anxiety. Ottawa is very crowded. For Canadian city, it's crowded, obviously, but for an American city, compared to America, it's nothing. But Ottawa has 1 million people living there. It's fucking crowded over there. It's crowded. Whereas Quebec is not that bad. Hull, Quebec, it's I only have to take one bus to get there, like a 15-minute bus ride. And I'm at the restaurant. I can work full time there. And I'll work hard. I'll work full time, like 4 days a week, maybe 4 8 hour shifts. That way, I make a good like $700 every 2 week paycheck, and I can save like $250 a paycheck. $250 a paycheck, obviously. 200. If I make 700, I can save 200. That's enough. 400 a month's enough. By the end of the year, I'll save $3,500. Or if I collect my welfare checks, I'll save $200 to $300 a paycheck. $200 a paycheck, I'll save $1,500 $1,600 by the end of the year. Hence why working is a better option, because you can save more money. Because you're getting 2 checks a month. Whereas welfare, you only get 1 check a month. I'm sorry. I need enough money. So if I get this job, I'm gonna have to let the welfare people know that I got a job. You have to let them know, obviously, and they'll reduce your amount. Hey, can you if I'm only making 600 every 2 weeks? Hey, can you still give me like $100 a month? Yeah, I will do that for you. They can still give you like $150 a month, but they have to reduce your amount. Obviously, so I don't want to quit the welfare thing because what? The applying process is really annoying. You have to sign all these papers. It was fucking annoying when I did that back in 2020. So yeah. If the guy doesn't reply within, it's all good. I'll just go to the place next week and ask if they can raise my amount. If not, then I have to rely on the $700 they're giving me, and I'll save $200 a paycheck. I'll be able to save a good $1,500 $1,600 by the end of the year. Just not bad. But working is obviously the better option for me right now. Because when you work at restaurants, you get tips. You get like $100, $200 tips, man. Which helps, obviously. You can do a lot of things with $200 in tips. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I worked at Burr Market, I felt rich. Because I was making like $600 every 2 weeks. And I was getting like big tips, man. One time I got like a $300 tip, man. $300, $280, $250 tip I got at Beer Market, but I blew it all, obviously. Yeah. I need to save this money. You're gonna ask me, Ivan, have you work? I'm like, no, I haven't worked since 2018. Like, really? So what have you been doing? Yeah, I've been collecting welfare checks. You got dishwashing experience? Yes. I have years of dishwashing experience. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good dishwasher. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have to get out there and be more sociable. Socialize more with people. Because I've been sitting in my basement for like 4 or 5 years now. And just collecting welfare checks and getting beer, supposed to watching stuff on TV. I need to learn to get out there and talk to people more. And the only way I'm going to get better with the keys is if I go out and talk more and all that stuff. Zara? Yeah, if I get that job, obviously, and I work full time, I'll be able to save like $5,000 by the end of the year, and I'll have more than I'm planning to get my book added. And the rest of the money, I might use it for a vacation maybe or something like that. I might go on a vacation with that money. I'll work there for maybe a year or maybe about 2 years, this year and next year. And in 2025, I'll let them know. I'll give them, yeah, I'm giving you a 2 week notice. I have enough money. My books added. I'm gonna pay his fee. I'm done with minimum wage. I'm gonna give my 2 week notice and send my 2 week notice at the restaurant. I'm gonna give my 2 week notice at the restaurant. Yeah, because I now know I'm about to become king. Obviously, they know. They'll know. Yeah, we know why I was giving. We know why I was giving his 2 week notice. He's 32 years old. He can't pay his rent working minimum wage. Yes, and if you can, you're barely surviving. You have like no money for yourself. He can't pay his rent working minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? He needs money. His books edited. It's time for him to become king. And they know, yeah, Ivan's giving his 2 week notice in his last step family. No, yes. I'm going to let my step parents know, obviously. My step parents will let me get this job because it's minimum wage. Pays $15.50 an hour, $14.50 an hour. They'll let me get the job because it's minimum wage. Yeah, we don't mind if Ivan makes 800 every 2 weeks. That's nothing. You can barely survive with that money. But their tactic is hopefully he saves his money. That way he can make a living for himself because they're crazy people, obviously. He works minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? Ivan works minimum wage, obviously, and he saves like $18,000. That's enough money for him to pay his apartment rent for like 3 years. For 2 years. You know what I'm saying? He can pay his apartment rent. He works. He'll have money for himself. That's their plan, obviously. Well, we get to make our billions, and he's poor because they're crazy people, obviously. All right, look, man, you can't go anywhere at minimum wage. Minimum wage, you can barely even pay your rent. Yes, a lot of people who work minimum wage have apartments, but chances are they have roommates, because it's tough to pay your rent by yourself if you work minimum wage. Unless you live in a shitty apartment, like a complete like shitty. But if you want to live in a decent apartment, you need to be able to pay your rent, man. You got to make at least your $40,000, $35,000 plus to pay your rent. You make 40K, you're doing pretty good for yourself. You're making pretty good money. You pay your rent with that money. 20K, 24K, you can't pay your rent with that money. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's my point. I'm only gonna make a 1 hour video, guys. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to the store and get my smokes. I can get a 25, but if I get a 25, I will not have it. Even if with my cans, I will not have enough to get smoke another day. If I get a 20 pack, I should have enough to get smokes for another day. But tomorrow I'll clean the basement. So give me money, like $11. I'll have enough. Hopefully I get my check within this Friday, man. If not, I gotta wait it out. Maybe 1, 2 days. Maybe I get the 25, the $200 check Monday. I'll let you guys care, right? Yeah. Let's see. I need to save my money, man. I need to get this thing added. Yeah. A few minutes, I'm gonna go upstairs and get my coffee. I made coffee earlier. Gotta excuse the noise. We're listening to Christian music because they're supposedly Christians, right? Yeah. So let's talk about Zanus here, obviously. So once I pay this bullshit fee and I save my beautiful wife, because I'm going to save her, I'm not running off. I'm going to regret it if I don't save her, obviously. I save my beautiful wife, and what? I make my billions off the book. Don't hate me, you know what I'm saying? I make my 10, 11, $12 billion off my book. And what? And what? And what? I make my money off my book. I now have enough money to what? Make my Zanus movie for $1,200,000,000. I'll make Zanus for $1,200,000,000. $410 towards salaries, $780 towards the movie, and $10 million towards the documentary. God forbid this thing is not getting delayed, but it won't. Chances are I'm going to get a job this year, or I'll collect my welfare checks. Um, Working is more money, but welfare checks is more slack. I don't have to work. I just sit at home and I collect checks. But I gotta wait like a month for my next check to come in every month. Whereas when you work, you get like 2 checks a month, 2 big checks, like a $700 check. You get like you get $200, two $700 checks every month. You can save more money, and you also get your tips. Chances are I might save some of my tips too. Take the tips I take the tips I made, I have, and then cash in the bank, obviously. Obviously. No, the tips I'll blow. Tips is for you to blow, obviously. Blow your tips, obviously. But yeah, that way I save money for my book, obviously. Yeah, so that's the layout of the structure of my contract for my Zanus movie. We base off my book that I wrote, The Last Hope for Zanus. The Last Hope for Zanus. We base off the book I wrote, The Last Hope for Zanus, obviously. There. That's why you're looking at unheard technology better than James Cameron's Pandora, Avatar. Think of a movie better than that. Better in quality, right? In terms of technology, better in quality. Think of horror that will blow Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, Mel Gibson's Passion of Christ out of the water, the Axis out of the water. Looking at real demons. And think of action sequences better than Two Towers. The Helm's Deep War in Two Towers, the Battle of Hornswoggle, right? Think of a war better than that. Better than Gladiator War, 300 War, Kingdom of Heaven War. Think of a war better than all those movies. Because I'm pouring hundreds of millions of dollars towards visual effects, towards special effects, for the action sequences, for the world building, for the horror of the wolves. And Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson are my top 2 candidates to direct the movie. They're my top 2 candidates to direct the movie, obviously. Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson are my top 2 candidates to direct the movie. So I'm saying, yeah, I was just saying, yeah, they're my top 2 candidates for directing the movie. Sarah? They're my top two candidates for directing the movie. Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson, obviously. The question is, who is better for the job? Mel Gibson or Peter? That's the real question. Who is the best candidate for the job? Mel Gibson or Peter Jackson? That's the real question. That's the real question, obviously. I don't know who's better, man. Somebody tells me Peter is a better man. Somebody tells me Mel's a better man. I don't know. See what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's tough. But somebody tells me I'm going to choose Mel. Well, I might choose Peter, man. I don't know, man. It's fucking tough, man. I'll talk about Peter because I talked about Mel yesterday, right? I talked about Mel yesterday, obviously. Peter, I'll pay him his $85 million base for the movie. And I'll give him $450 million of box office receipts and $80 million of the merch receipts. That's my final offer for you, Peter, man. If you want more money, I'm not paying you more money. You greedy pig. I'm not paying you more money, man. I wanted $800 earlier. Somebody, no, Peter, you're fucking greedy. I'm not going to pay you that, man. You're a greedy pig. $580 million is $682 million in New Zealand money. You sign almost a $700 million. It's enough money. You're going to walk away with like $365 million in your bank after taxes. $360 million. That's enough. Yeah, this is double what I made for Lord of the Rings. Yes. For Lord of the Rings, you made like $170 million after taxes in New Zealand money. And I'm paying double that what you made. Yeah, it's a lot of money, Ivan. Yeah. Some Sarah? Because Lord of the Rings is what made Peter wealthy and rich. Before that, he wasn't that rich of a guy. He was only worth maybe like $800,000 or $1 million or something like that, Peter, before he did Lord of the Rings. He was an indie filmmaker, and then New Line took a chance on him. It's in the book, you read it. Peter did all these independent like B horror movies before he did Lord of the Rings. He did like these movies like what are they called again? Bad Taste, Heavenly Creatures, Lovely Bones or something like that. I forget. I know he did Bad Taste. He did Heavenly Creatures. He did those movies before he did Lord of the Rings, and he was a nobody filmmaker. And yet, New Line took a chance on Peter. He pitched to his idea for Lord of the Rings. They liked it, obviously, and New Line took a chance on him, and they paid this guy like a yeah. Peter was lucky enough to negotiate for 10% of the gross obviously the gross sales, and like a $10 to $30 million base for his contract for his base salary, and they paid him. My guess is Peter's salary was paid from New Line's pocket. Obviously, I don't think it was paid through the budget. There's no way they could afford to pay Peter that money with a $94 million budget, $10 million salary. No way they can afford it, unless they did. But chances are they paid him under the outside the budget, his $10 million salary, because he made $10 million for the three movies or $10 million for each of the three movies. So I think Peter made $30 million for Lord of the Rings for his base. He made a lot of money, man. That's his base, and he got his like 10% off the gross sales. He's greedy, obviously. And as I'm like, Peter, you're greedy. I'm not paying you any more money. And Mel, I'll pay him $170 million of the box office receipts, and $56 million base, and $25 million of the merch sales. So he signed a $251 million deal. It's good enough for Mel. He'll make like $200 million in American money. He'll make about $110 million, $108 million after taxes. A lot of money for Mel Gibson. Not the kind of money Pierre's making, but Pierre's much bigger than you, Mel. Your net worth is a portion of it. That's why he's making way more than you. Some Zara. I'm going to go upstairs and get my coffee. I'll be back in a sec. Don't hate me, son. Alrighty, I'm back. I went upstairs to get my coffee. I'm only gonna make a 1 hour video, guys, because I'm tired. I don't feel like making. Oh, you're not making full videos anymore. Yeah, because I'm tired, man. I don't get paid for this. And if I get this job, and I tell the welfare people that I got a job, obviously they reduce my amount to like $100 a month. What? Um, they reduce my amount to like 100, maybe 50. They might give me maybe $70. We can give you like $75 a month or something to help you out a little bit. Okay, fine. Because I don't want to end this welfare thing because I don't want to reapply, man. It was really annoying doing all that paperwork. You know, we can just reduce your amount. Yeah. I might maybe work this job for maybe 8 months, and after that, I might go back to collecting welfare checks, guys. So I don't want to end this welfare thing. Okay, Ivan, thank you for telling us we'll reduce your amount to like $75 a month or something like that. The families will probably only allow them to give me maybe $175 or something like that. I don't know. Because they're greedy people, see. Chances are, somebody tells me they're not going to raise my amount to $1,000. We can't do that. I'm like, why not? I need the money, because we just can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh. Yeah, if I'm gonna make $700 a month, I might as well work a full-time job, man. Hopefully, I get that dishwashing job. It's in Gatineau, Quebec. It's not in Ottawa. Ottawa's crowded. It's in Gatineau. Gatineau only has like 200,000 people living there. 100,000 people living there. In Hull, Hull only has 100,000. It's not that crowded compared to Ottawa, sir. The good thing about working dishwashing, you get tips. I'll have money, and I can save like 4, 5, 6 grand. 4 grand, 5 grand by the end of the year I can save, which is nice. And then once I save the money, I could give them my 2 week notice and just go back to collecting welfare checks, or I can work for another year and make more money for myself and do. But if I work, that means what? I will not be pumping out as much videos for you guys. I'll probably pump out videos maybe twice a week, or something like that. Yeah. Or I might make sometimes I might make a few videos for you guys here and there. But you're not gonna see me making as much videos because I'm working now. I'm working full time. But I'll push for 4 days a week. That way I have 3 days off a week. 4 days a week I'll work. Work 4 days a week. I'll work, obviously. Work 4 days a week. I'll work. That way I have more breaks for myself. 4 days a week is enough money for me. I'll still make like 650, 700 every 2 weeks. It's enough money for me, obviously. So Sarah, I can save my money, get this thing added, man. That way I make my money and I can start. No more minimum wage, obviously. I'm done with minimum wage. But right now, the only thing I can do is minimum wage. Once I get the thing added and I am giving the people my 2 weeks notice, yeah, guys, I'm only going to work for you guys for 2 weeks. I get my check and I'm going to get ready to let my step-parents know. Let my step-parents know, obviously. I've done my book and the true age will come on. I pay this fee and I cry my eyes out. I say to my wife and I'm peacing out there and you're left behind. I'm saying that. Sarah? And you're left behind, yeah. Well, that's my offer for Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson, man. I'm like, if you guys are greedy and you want more money, it's a deal. Yeah, I gave you a good deal, man. You don't make this in Hollywood. Mel Gibson makes like $15 million for his movies in Hollywood. The only movie whereby he made a lot of money was Passion of Christ. That was his movie. He funded his own cash. Well, I'm like, Mel, I'm not going to give you $300 in royalties. That's crazy, man. You're getting greedy. $170 is enough. I'm paying you more than all these big Hollywood actors in Hollywood, how much they make. Keanu Reeves, I'm giving him $125 million for the royalties. You're making even more than him. Because you're bigger than him. You're worth like your $25 million. I'm giving you $170. A lot of money. That's a deal, Ivan. That's a lot of money, Ivan. I'm going to walk away with like $109 million in my bank after taxes for the 5 years of saying, yeah, it's a lot of money, Mel. Yeah, it's a lot of money, Ivan. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Peter's walking away like $60 million in his bank after taxes. Because the agent takes 10% of that, right? So, but yeah, Peter, your agent's taking like a good chunk of your money, obviously. Has Peter's agent not taken anything, Peter would have made his like almost $390, almost $400 million over taxes he would have made, man, Peter. But his agent takes 10% of that, and you have taxes, obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah. His agent will take like I don't know, $8 million, $42 million of Peter's money. So Peter's making like 360, 365 million after taxes around there for the movie. It's a good deal for Peter, obviously. Show my cat over here.